All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on micdrop.com where Rockstar entrepreneurs, only Rockstar entrepreneurs, are showcased their lifestyle, their mindset, their business model, what makes them tick, and what makes them special. Today we have Mr. Paul Getter, actually known as the Internet Marketing Nerd. There's videos, pictures, images. You're out there everywhere. So you probably already know who he is, but if you don't, we have definitely a special guest today. And Paul, very glad to have you here. Let's give him a nice warm welcome, and the crowd goes wild.
Woo, woo, woo. Thanks a lot, Mike. Man, I thought with your booming voice that you're going to say, let's get ready to rumble. Something like that.
I can do that too.
I mean, you
right?
can do that, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Paul, listen, we've had dialogue, lots of text, phone calls, and even behind the scenes here, just a lot of conversation about who you are, who you work with, and what you do. What I did just learn, I mean, you've worked with Tai Lopez, Grant Cardone, Les Brown, a lot of A-list celebrities, and you're kind of that back end, how do we get the right eyeballs on them for their current initiative? People like that don't just trust anybody.
Sure.
Why is it that they trust you?
Well, I think when you carry yourself with integrity and reputation, and you got results. You always got to have results.
You can't argue with results.
Yeah, you can't argue with results.
Numbers, black and white.
Yeah.
It doesn't lie.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Give me a quick synopsis. What does that shell of the Internet Marketing Nerd agency look like? Right. You were talking about L.A., New York, Miami. Kind of give me an overview, just an overarching view of what that agency looks like, who it serves, and why you're so good.
Yeah, so like you said, we've had the privilege of working with some of the coolest entrepreneurs in the world, A-list celebrities, Fortune 500 companies, and we take ideas. They might just have concepts or maybe a course, and then we put it into a product, build it out, their funnel, their webinar, everything, and then we run traffic to it.
Almost create from nothing.
Yeah.
I've seen that in our mastermind board of advisors where sometimes there's a concept or a test or a prototype, and what it really needs is the right eyeballs, the right adoption, kind of the right product to market match, right?
Yeah.
So if you get it in front of the right individuals, they're going to adopt. They're going to want to consume the product or jump on the platform or use the service, right?
Absolutely.
What do you find is for you the most rewarding type of client to work with?
Well, I tell you what. So we, in addition to working with some really, big name, high profile people, we've taken individuals. Like I can tell you, we connected with this one young guy. I think he's like 21 years old, and he had a course that he was teaching on YouTube.
Okay.
And sending it to just a basic, I think, Squarespace website.
Right.
But he was doing okay.
Yeah.
And so we built this. We built out the platform properly for him. And push traffic to it. 2-3 days, he made 6 figures.
Really?
Yeah, and he's a 21-year-old kid, is still in college.
So that's interesting for the simple fact, when I think of Paul and his agency, your exposure, your competency, the results you've created for others, I think, okay, you've kind of got to be a big deal to work with a guy like you and an agency like yours, right? So what is it that helps you define, hey, I've got this 21-year-old kid that has something a little different, something a little special. Yeah. Maybe he's a good fit for my talents and my agency. What is that like? How does that look like?
Yeah. So one of the things that I like seeing is people that have kind of like accidental success.
Yeah.
They're doing.
I love
good.
having accidental.
Yeah. They're doing good. You get talking to them. They're like, oh yeah, I made $10,000-$20,000 on it, and you look at it, you're like, this website is horrible. You don't know what you're doing, but they're making money.
Yeah, everything about it's wrong, but it's actually generating.
It's working. So we know if we put the proper techniques, the proper conversion page and all that type of stuff.
The formula.
Yeah, the proper formula to it, then it just you can accelerate the growth and make a whole lot more money.
What was the 21-year-old kid? What was he selling?
He was selling a digital course.
Okay.
He was selling a course teaching people online trading.
online trading.
Yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't want to be able to trade stocks?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, absolutely.
So on the other side of that, like, what does a big client look like that you like, right? You know, you were talking about sometimes it's not always the famous individual. It could be a car lot or a dealership,
Car
I guess.
dealership, yeah.
What is it that you guys really get behind, right? Is it something that has purpose? Is it something that, you know, just generates lots of revenue? Like, what do you think when you get a new client that you get excited about? What does that look like? Who is that?
Yeah, so I think, you know, one of the first things that I had to learn quickly is I want to be confident that I can really help someone. You know, because sometimes people come to you and they have a product. Everybody thinks that their product is the next billion-dollar idea,
Right.
the next. But we want to see that there's real potential and that there's opportunity for them to have success.
See, that's perfect. I think everybody should take that away. Little
Sure.
mic drop right there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Don't bring on a client if you cannot help that client.
Yeah.
It's not just about taking their money, it's can you provide real results,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So in your business or in anybody's business, whether you're small or big, qualify not just the client being able to pay, but is it a good relationship?
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we do with board of advisors as well. Like on their way in, we're qualifying a lot of questions on are they even relevant into the organization and can we help them? Are they going to contribute and are we going to be able to equally contribute back, if not more, right?
Yeah.
That just kind of gives a little bit of an illustration of the type of individual you are.
Yeah, well, so I always tell our team, I would rather decline a client than accept them, and we cannot give them
Right.
good results.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive in. Yes, you've got some big clients. You like identifying the aptitude or talent that is possible with some emerging clients. But what is it about what you do that makes you so successful, right? Is it your service? Is it your team? Is it your culture? Like, if you could tell anybody out there listening to this conversation, what is it that makes your firm so special? Why do the clients stick, and how do you get such good results?
Yeah, so I think number one, the experience that we have, because you know I'm seeing agencies
Yeah.
that just started a couple years ago, and there's a lot of very talented people that have only been doing internet marketing for a couple of years. But when Facebook started doing ads,
Right.
we were the team that were out there beta testing their ad
Figuring it
platform,
out.
and so we've been doing this for over a decade.
Nice.
And it's. I tell people I was doing internet marketing before there was an internet. And,
Right.
it was bulletin board systems and things like that. So I think number one, our experience that we have,
Okay.
and so
Yeah.
we have the relationships, and the data. With experience, you get data,
I can see that. I
Yeah.
can see that. You
the,
get
the results. Yeah, I mean,
in your world, data is the experience,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
Because you can take on another project similarly,
Sure.
where it's not new anymore, and you can roll all that data and experience into the next client. So you become kind of exponentially better every client.
Yeah, no, and that's a great way of putting it. Is because think about it. When a person builds out a product, a course, a landing page,
Right.
they're going to go through a process of split testing
Absolutely.
and colors and locations of buttons and everything like that.
Burning time, burning money, figuring
Yeah.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you've already done that with similar projects, well, the same concepts and principles apply to across the board to everybody.
Right.
And
I can see that.
And the amount of experience that we have in ad spend. When it comes to ad spend, it's more than just how long have you been
Yeah.
doing ads, but it's about how much money have you been spending, because you can get more experience in 1 month than a person that's been doing it a year if your ad spend amount is greater than what they've been doing in a year.
What would you say you guys would be as a firm spending in ads a month?
Yeah, so millions of dollars a month.
Really?
Millions of dollars a month.
Every month?
Every month.
Millions
every
of
month.
dollars
Yes.
out the door. In ads.
Out the door and back in revenue.
Well, we hope so, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I like how confident you are. It does come back.
It comes back. It comes back. I always tell people, I'm like, we tell them, well, we'd like to start out with this amount, and they get a little bit nervous, like, really, that amount? I'm like, yeah, but you're not going to lose it. If we lose it, you need to fire us because we're going to be making money in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Tell us about like a campaign that it just went wrong, right? Like, what went wrong, and how did you fix it?
Yeah. So the challenging thing about internet marketing is what you did last month.
Totally.
No, I tell you, just like 2 days ago, I logged into our Facebook ad managers, and I'm there on the call with our marketing director, and we both refresh our screen, and the ads manager is completely a new setup, and we're like, did your screen just change? Like, yeah. So
But it does change every day. The algorithms, the rules, what they're going to tolerate, what they're not going to tolerate.
Yeah. So I think one of the challenges that you always see as far as like things going wrong, especially within the entrepreneur space, is being compliant. Facebook is very finicky about the words that you use, things like that. So they don't want you using certain terms, certain pictures and everything. So we have had campaigns that are doing really well. Like, I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, we on our team, we've won the 2 Comma Club and everything like that for different funnels and stuff like that. But cryptocurrency, it used to be fine that you could run ads, and
about crypto, with cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and so
not anymore.
Not anymore. So one day, we've got a program that is making 5-6 figures and doing really well and everything like that. And the next
then
day,
it just disappears.
Done.
Isn't that funny? You think you have this business, it's cracking along. Somebody changes one little rule. One of my mentors calls it left field. The thing that just comes in out of left field, you can't even see it coming, and then you're out of business. Yeah.
That's
why, when I was kind of asking you about the model, the business model that you like kind of the best. Those surefire, because you get behind a business, there's obviously a service fee per month, but you also have a motivation to generate a result because there's some rev share participation, right?
Sure.
So, I'm just kind of assuming the surefire model, like say a dealership, one of those things that it's just not going to be risky, right?
Yeah.
And is that for you? Are those the ones that you kind of like to stack on the back end because they're just not wavering in the tolerance?
Yeah. No, there are certain areas when it's just strictly generating leads. Generating leads that we click a button, and as soon as we start up an ad, whether it's for a car dealership, whether it's for real estate agent, whatever it might be, we click a button, they're getting leads, their phone's ringing and things like that. They're happy.
You just know it's going to be $3 every lead, or 10 or 12 or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
It's just proven fact.
Absolutely.
That's kind of a good feeling.
Yeah. Those are great. Less risk. But when it comes into the digital products, courses, and everything like that, you can. I think we have a good gut instinct. Like, this is going to work.
Right.
This is, maybe they've tested out with affiliates or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we've got a good feeling. But hey, if I always tell people, if we were 100%, that's all we would be doing, and we'd just be printing money. And
so you and I were connected through a gentleman, Preston Ely.
Yes.
Ely.
Yeah, Preston Ely.
He's quite an individual. Like, from a marketer standpoint, he's great. Just a very vibrant personality.
Absolutely.
How long have you known him?
Probably about 2 or 3 years now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So just any business transacting there, or more of a friendship?
Yeah, so we did marketing for him, several courses, and just had relationships with him on a business level. And then we just really connected as friends, and really been good friends.
It's pretty cool when you get to work with friends.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what I find in business in general, it comes back to the relationships,
Yeah.
right? You know, you and I are here today because of a relationship that I have with somebody else.
Yeah.
And the best clients that I've had in business have been referrals.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
The longest term, the most loyal, the many times most profitable have been referrals, because somebody who knows your product, right, can definitely qualify who would be a good fit.
Sure.
In your business, do you find that's kind of the core of your business
Yeah,
or your client base?
Absolutely. That I'm going to say 90% of our clients come from referral. That you know, someone we're working with, they like the results they're getting, and they say, hey, you know, give them a call. They're doing an awesome job for us.
So I bring that up because in our model with Board of Advisors, it is 99% a referral mechanism that has built the organization, right?
Yeah.
We would love to figure out, how do we introduce the value proposition, right, to a certain demographic that many times people part of BA they've never been to a mastermind, and they would never consider unless, like a guy like you, were invited by somebody who were already involved.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
I think, and I'm not the pro, you are, but I think those are pretty difficult things to market. How do you get that to transpire online without relying on a referral?
Yeah. Well, I think maybe what you do is you leverage the credibility of the people that are in there, and then you use videos, assets, and content of theirs to kind of leverage Board of Advisors.
Right.
You know, you've got some of the biggest names in Board of Advisors, so you can take who they are, leverage them, and connect with their audience.
Gotcha. So basically, if you wanted to, say, meet a guy like Dan Locke or the internet marketing nerd, Paul Getter, you know, maybe you want to be at the next Board of Advisors. Is that what you're saying? Kind of a campaign like that?
Yeah, and I think, you know, something like this is you could kind of frame it, these high profile individuals that are there, that you run ads to their audience, showcasing that, hey, these are the elite of the elite here at this event, and we might be able to get you in here,
right?
You know, something like that.
I like to kind of posture it like the elite of the elite, but then the way we've built the culture, I put you eyeball to eyeball, belly to belly, handshake to handshake, where it's not about the ego or the status, it's about a very lateral, you know, equal conversation where we're truly trying to help each other. Because I've seen and you run your own masterminds, right?
Yes.
And sometimes you see maybe the youngest helping the oldest, or potentially the newest helping the most experienced. Like, there's always a weird exchange of value. It's kind of like that left field thing coming in and putting you out of business. It's that weird exchange putting somebody into a deal, or you know. For you, I'm going to shift the conversation a little bit. For you, I know you're a little bit of a conservative guy. You like to call yourself a nerd. Are you truly, like, behind the scenes? Are you a nerd?
Yeah. So
are you like this flashy guy driving around like a Lamborghini or something?
So here's the funny thing is, people always ask me the question, like, how did you come up with this brand, the Internet Marketing Nerd? And I try to think about it. I'm trying to, like, figure out, like, where did I come up with this brand, Internet Marketing Nerd? And it was just, I've always worn a bow tie.
Really?
And I've always worn the glasses because I can't see without them.
Right.
And my friends always joked around, oh, look at this nerd with the bow tie and stuff. And so it was more of,
you know, just like in high school, you were wearing a bow tie?
No, not in high school, but
like if you went to a business meeting.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So matter of fact, I go to church every Sunday and I wear a bow tie. If I came in with a regular tie, they would think something was wrong with me. So
it would shake the place up.
Yeah. So I always wear a bow tie, and I initially started wearing the bow tie as a joke, because people were calling me a nerd and everything like that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to show them who's a nerd, and I put the bow tie on. They're like, man, it looks good. It looks good. I'm like, Okay, well,
Well, what I find is I'm big on like dressing to not necessarily impress. It's not
Sure.
about you want to impress them, but what you want to do is you want to install confidence
Yeah.
in what's coming out of your mouth matches with how you're representing yourself,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
When you say I'm Paul, the internet marketing nerd, and you know you've wrapped your package like this, I'm thinking, you know what? He's probably pretty darn close to being the internet marketing nerd. You know what I mean?
well, it's funny. The other day, I texted a client of mine at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I texted him. I said, "Hey, I have an answer of how we can get those leads for you." And it was 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm probably the only person that thinks about ads at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning." It's just, I enjoy what I do. I really enjoy what I do.
For your mastermind, you should actually make everybody wear a bow tie.
Well, this is what we do. Is when they complete the mastermind, we give them a pair of glasses and a bow tie. We do. That's kind of like the
Cool.
graduation.
Yeah, you're official now.
You're official.
You're an internet marketing
Yeah,
nerd,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about this. The life of an entrepreneur. I mean, you're a rock star. You dress like a nerd, but in real life, I mean, you're running millions and millions of dollars of ads every month.
Yeah.
Not a year, every month.
Yeah.
You're generating even exponentially more millions of dollars of return on those ads for these businesses, for these A-list celebrities and gurus. But like, what is the mindset for you in the morning when you wake up, right? Like,
Yeah.
sometimes that can be a lot of weight. It's
Sure.
a lot of revenue going out the door of somebody else's to get a certain result.
Sure.
And I'm sure you feel responsible for that. Like, I
Absolutely.
feel responsible for every single one of my members, their business, their challenges. You know, I take ownership of that in a sense,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You've got to take I mean, you can't tell me you don't.
Yeah.
When you wake up, what does that mindset look like for the day?
Yeah.
Because
So-
how you start the day is how you're going to end that day.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I think it is. First thing you have to understand is I grew up in a very low income home,
Gotcha.
where money was scarce.
Right.
And so now I remember there was a transition when our business started doing well and started growing that, I would see bills come in. And, there would be bills come in for a week that, I didn't make this much
Yeah.
money in years,
Wow.
let alone in a
Wow.
week. And it was almost overwhelming.
Right.
And then I was like, you have to just tell yourself, it's just another zero.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just another zero.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when,
You're saying as you were getting started,
as
you were starting to see big numbers
Yeah.
flow through or on your desk, across
Yeah.
your desk,
Yeah.
and you're kind of like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sets you back a little, or it makes you think.
Sure.
And then you almost have to become detached.
Sure.
Like you're saying, just another zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good feeling though.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. And then when you're able to give people results,
Yeah.
there's no greater feeling than doing a report and
Right.
telling people,
Right.
you made X amount of dollars this week.
Right.
You're a hero to them.
Yeah.
This
They
is-
love you.
Yeah. So
Sometimes more than their spouse. Right?
yeah. So that's the thing. I think when you're getting results and you're accelerating a person's brand,
You become so much better looking in their eyes, right?
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
even look nerdy anymore.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely,
downright gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, so.
That's cool. So, yes, sometimes you've got to have obviously the right mindset.
Sure.
Sometimes detaching yourself from just the numbers, right? But what is it that you think in your agency, if we tailor a little over from mindset into culture, like what is the culture of the Internet Marketing Nerd Agency? What does that look like? The employees, the loyalty, their approach with the customer. I mean, what kind of culture does that feel like? Like you walk into, say, Chick-fil-A, they have a
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah.
They don't say, you're welcome. They say, my pleasure,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What does that look like in your agency?
Yeah. So this is really interesting. Is like, for example, we have an office up in New York, and I will connect with other agencies and stuff, and agencies that are doing well, and they're like, "Look, we want to become internet marketing nerds too." I'm like, but you're a different agency. But there is just like this desire that they want to be a part of the internet marketing nerds.
Interesting.
And so I think a couple things. Number one, we love to have fun. And it's the humor, the fun, the connection.
Yeah.
That when you find something that you enjoy doing,
Right.
it's not work.
Yeah.
So you're excited about it.
And
you
you're
have
good
fun.
at it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're good at it.
Yeah.
And so we have fun. I mean, we joke. Like I said, it's more than just a brand. This is really who we are. I mean, we in my office, I've got Marvel posters and Captain America's shield hanging on the wall and everything like that.
Note
And
that
so-
down. Get some comic book guys.
Yeah, I know we've got
in your office,
we've
right?
got, and so there's that fun
Yeah,
connection
yeah.
that we have, and then there's just I guess part of the culture is a really sincere hunger to learn more.
I like that.
And I think that's part of like what defines a nerd is like always in the books and everything
Yeah.
like that. But there's always this desire to learn more. We want to learn the next cool cutting edge thing or
Yeah.
solve
Well,
problems.
it goes
and
around
stuff.
with your brand too, but it also really supports the growth of your people.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And people that will build systems and people that will code software and things like that. It's incredible because they're problem solvers. And when you think about a nerd, that's what a nerd is. The person that is,
Actually, I think nerds now are really the new cool guys. They're the new superheroes.
they've
Who
always
doesn't-
been cool. It's just now being
Dude,
recognized.
nerds
as cool.
run the world.
Yeah.
They really do.
They do. Yeah.
Nerds invented the internet.
Yeah, so this is what I tell people. A nerd today is your boss tomorrow. So, your nerd
I like that.
a nerd today is your boss tomorrow.
We should have opened the show with that. A nerd today is your boss tomorrow.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hey, somebody put that on social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure you already have.
Yeah, I have
like a
couple
million
times.
times.
Yeah, probably.
You own that catchphrase, I'm sure.
I should get it trademarked.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
You should get a T-shirt, man. Give
Yeah.
that out to everybody.
Yeah.
Oh man. So you're a family man
Yes, sir.
and a father.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How do you balance? Because you like to work, but we did also have a conversation where you say, Sundays there's no work.
Yeah.
It's about family. I go to church.
Yeah.
How do you balance an agency that's in LA? It's in LA, New York. You said Miami and Naples,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Plus, you're a dad of 3 kids.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a fantastic husband. How do you balance all of that?
Yeah.
I mean, people say work-life balance,
Sure.
right?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think it's work-life, but there's no balance.
Yeah.
I can't find the ability to balance it all balance the act. I find that sometimes it's like this and it's like this.
Sure.
And there's a healthy cadence.
Yeah.
But how do you do it?
Yeah, so I think that there are phases, kind of like you said, there's phases. There were times in getting started that
Just got to do it.
Yeah, you got to have a family that understands, hey, we're going to be making some sacrifices.
Right.
Dad's going to be busy, husband's going to be busy, but we're going to reap the reward for
Right.
it down the end. So
Right.
I think you have to be able to have that conversation with your family.
Yeah.
That, look, I'm going to be busy, but your college is going to be taken care of. The
Right.
house is going to be taken care
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
We're not going to be living from paycheck to paycheck. And they can appreciate it. And they can learn. And my family's very involved in
Right.
the business and stuff. Both of my sons work with me.
That's
in
going to be my
business.
next question.
Yeah.
Are they involved?
Yeah. So both of my sons are in college, but they both work for me too. I send them a message. My oldest son, he goes to University of Central Florida in Orlando, but I send him a message. I'm like, hey, bud, will you set up this funnel for me? And he does that.
And he does it.
He does it.
So you trained them well.
Yeah. When they were in middle school and high school, they were making money online. So I was giving them
Well, you
tools.
look back in the richest, you're familiar with family offices.
Yeah.
And it's generational wealth.
Yeah.
Right? Like the richest families always made it a family business.
Yeah.
And passed it down and it accumulated. The pile
Yeah.
and the momentum just accumulated, right?
Yeah.
These days, especially in America, it's so temporary. Everybody shoots off and does their own thing. It's very disjointed.
Yeah.
I love hearing the fact that you have such a family unit that they're integrated into the business. Maybe one day the little nerds take over the big nerds.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Yeah. Hopefully. That's
You have a daughter too?
Yes, I have 2 sons and a daughter. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, is she in the business or too young?
No, so all of my, I know this is going to be surprising to you, but all of my kids are grown up and out of the house.
Really?
So, well, I say out of the house. They're still, come home for, college vacations and everything like that. So my 2 oldest sons, they're in college. One attends, like I said, University of Central Florida. The other one is Florida Gulf Coast University. My daughter just got married. She's the baby. But she just got married and just gave me the news that I'm going to be a grandfather. So it's going to be grandpa.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So,
congratulations.
well, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, all I did was pay the bills.
But this is the first grandson or granddaughter.
Yep. Granddaughter.
Right? Granddaughter.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Wow, that's big. And that just happened?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even look that old.
I know.
Nerds look younger too.
Yeah.
Not only do they rule the world,
yes, we look good.
And are they fashionable now? They actually look younger.
Yes.
Botox free.
Yes.
Be a nerd, you don't have to do Botox, I guess. Man, I like just hanging out with you.
Yeah,
You're a good
thanks,
guy.
man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you're a good guy. If we could, I know we've kind of had fun today, but if we could give anyone out there listening that is wanting to maybe start their own business or become, a service provider like you, that maybe some inspirational guidance or fundamentals or principles, what could you give somebody out there that's looking to get, because you shared with me that there's a sweet spot in your heart for individuals that want to do their own thing, right?
Yeah.
They want to kind of escape the rat race and really start their own business.
Sure.
What would you tell that audience?
Yeah. So 2 things. People ask me this question all the time. 2 things. Number 1, you have to have a mentor. You got to have a mentor or a coach. You got to get connected with someone that has been there before, that has made the mistakes, so you don't have to make the mistakes.
And why do you say you have to have a mentor? Why is that? I agree with you.
Yeah.
But why? Because in their head, I want them to know specifically why that mentor is critical. And I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to have a mentor.
Oh no, you do. Yeah, you do.
But if you don't, you're not going to get to the next level.
Yeah.
It's just it's kind of like, why should you read a book? Why should the mentor actually? They've been there before. Success leaves a trail, and you're connecting into them, and you're tapping into their knowledge, their resources.
Here's how I like to say it. You tell me if you like it. You can't out-accelerate success and experience, right?
Yeah.
Because if they've done it,
Yeah.
you know when your child, because you have 3 children, right? So all the parents, when their child is learning something new and now they think they really know it,
Yeah.
not only do they know something, but you know how all of it plays out. You've tried it,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Like they've accomplished something, but you know every color of it backwards and forward, right?
Yeah.
And you're just you're smiling because they're arriving, but you're also like, let me also help and guard you and protect you. Here's what else I want you to understand about that. And you kind of lay it out for them, because that's what you do with your children, right?
Yeah.
But a mentor does the same thing.
Yeah.
They've got all the experience, and what you have to do is understand the fastest way to the result and safety and security is to listen to the guy or girl with experience. Right? It's funny because every time I ask that question so far on this show, that has been the number 1 response.
Yeah.
Get a mentor.
Yeah.
If you're just getting started out, get a mentor. And I think there's a big hesitation for individuals who don't hire coaches.
Yeah.
I don't really like the term coach. I like mentor better. Mentorship better. It's a little more of an intimate relationship where you feel like somebody truly cares about you and your success.
Right.
But even a coach is giving you I don't even like the term coach. I just don't like it. You know why? Because most coaches, I feel, have read it and haven't done it.
Sure.
Right? That's why I like mentors.
Yeah.
Right? Would you agree with me?
Yeah. I
right?
got you. Yeah.
Don't talk to me about something you haven't done.
Yeah.
That you just read about.
Absolutely.
Anything else for the new person?
Then secondly, what I would say is relationships with people. And I say that because when going back, 5-6 years ago, I was working with some of the biggest name entrepreneurs, and
Sure.
but I stayed kind of disconnected behind the computer, just
Right.
wasn't going to events, wasn't connecting with people.
Man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
The wizard.
The wizard, yeah. Some people would say the guy behind the guys.
Yeah.
And so and a couple different reasons why I did that is I just kind of like stayed.
It's your comfort zone.
Yeah, it was my comfort zone, and I didn't want people really knowing what I was doing,
Yeah.
and just But then I realized the value of relationships. And like the relationship that
Right here.
Yeah. And connecting with people and shaking hands, going to events and building relationships. Because here's the thing is if you push your ego out of the way, there's probably somebody that has very similar skill sets
Yes.
as you.
Yes.
They can learn it, they can figure it out, but if you have a relationship with people, someone might come along and say, hey, I can do what he's doing and I'll do it for cheaper.
Sure.
And you'll say, you know what? Paul's my man. I got a
Yeah.
relationship with him. I'm connected with him.
I trust him. Right.
Yeah. So that relationship.
I like
there,
it.
Yeah. So it's like you're not going to go to another person, even if they can do the same job and they might do it for cheaper, because you have a relationship with people. So it's so important. If you lose everything, but you still have relationships with people, you have a wealth of opportunity.
This is why you and I get along so good. We share so much of the same ideology, right? I like to say it in this manner. The most valuable currency on the planet, past, present, or future, is relationship equity.
Yeah.
It outperforms any other currency anywhere, past, present, or future.
Yeah.
If you lost every dollar or gave it away or it burned instantly,
Sure.
you could go back to your relationship equity and you could do anything you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right? But if you had no relationship equity and all the money, you would spend all the money trying to get the relationships installed.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think there's anything worth more than having good, solid relationships, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons that we both invest our time in mastermind organizations. You have yours, I have ours, but they do exactly that.
Yeah.
They put the right people together so they can establish. And what I also would love everyone to kind of get their head around, networking is crap, okay? Most people want to accelerate networking into a conversion of a sale. That's not a relationship, right?
Yeah.
There's no, I like them, I trust them. It's transactional.
Yeah.
Networking events, I think, are crap. If you're like a sales guy, maybe, right?
Yeah.
But real CEOs and ownership, founders, people with the mindset, like that mindset, guys like you, Ty, Grant, Ed, the individuals we were talking about behind stage, they want relationships, right? They don't want to network, right?
Yeah.
They want to know that fewer, more meaningful, deeper relationships are going to get them further and be less relationship overhead than a bunch of networking ever will be. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. There's been instance after instance where people join our organization because we're a full-time organization that all we do is procure, enrich, and mature our relationship equity, right, with our members. Yeah. So you coming in for the first time, I can turn to so-and-so, you can tell me your biggest problem, and we can solve it or work on it or address it, right?
Yeah.
So I love that you said that. Now, what about if somebody was, and I love to see the big guys come into our organization and they're like, oh, they're thinking they're the big guy in the room.
Yeah.
And then they get that reality check like, oh, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'll take a little piece of humble pie, right? So what would you tell some of those experienced, high volume, the gurus who think, there is some ego there?
Sure.
What kind of advice would you give them from your world, right, that maybe they should take to the bank?
Yeah. So I think there is a challenge when people have success. They often feel like, okay, I've got it. I'm done. And I've been guilty of doing this. Like I get a course.
Yeah.
And I go through session 1, session 2, session 3. I'm like, I already know all this stuff.
Right.
And you feel like you wasted your money. And then
now you're wasting your time.
Yeah. Now you're wasting your time, and you're listening to it, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, session 6 in this, they say one thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I never heard of that before.
Yeah.
And then just that one statement that was probably 3 minutes.
Right.
You can apply that, and it changes.
It was worth everything.
It was worth it. Yeah. So sometimes just like a 3-minute statement can change the way. So
well, you take a business like yours that's serving businesses doing 100 million plus a year, right?
Yeah.
And one little 2%, 3% change
Absolutely.
is 2 or 3 million, and sometimes more when it kind of adds on it year after year. So for the bigger they are, the more valuable
the greater the opportunity for one small. No, I tell you what, we've had the opportunity to consult some big companies that are doing millions of dollars a month, and and just say an online store.
Absolutely.
And we talk to them about consulting, and we tell them our consulting price, and they're like, oh, that's pretty steep.
Yeah.
And for an hour, that's what you want. I'm like, we'll improve your conversions by 3% or something. Like, no, it's not possible. And we get on the phone and we make some changes on their site and everything like that, and 3% increase in conversions translates to hundreds of thousands of dollars a month for them. So that was
a really pretty good value then. That call.
Yeah.
Right?
1 hour.
Come on.
Yeah.
But you've figured, you're like that doctor. They had that show about that doctor. Like you could pretty much kind of see you walk across the parking lot. Oh, House. You ever watch that show, House?
Yeah. That's a great one.
Like he watches you walk across the parking lot. You walk in the door, and he's like,
you got such and such disease.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, you didn't even ask me my name.
Yeah.
And then whatever, you saw the show.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how you get when you do something so long and you have a singular focus, right?
Sure.
You become really good at it.
Yeah.
So it does have a huge value exchange for them.
Absolutely.
Man, I sure enjoyed the time with you today.
Likewise.
Going forward, like if you want to meet guys like Paul, the internet marketing nerd, if you want to try to outdress or be as cool as Paul, the internet marketing nerd, you want to find guys like this on micdrop.com and obviously at boardofadvisors.com. I'm just enthusiastic to grow this relationship that we kind of have, but it's still kind of new, right?
Yeah.
And I just love doing business and growing relationships with guys that have integrity. Ladies and gentlemen that have integrity, that are operating great businesses and doing the right thing, right? So I just want to give you a compliment, man. You're just a phenomenal human being, right? You're a great addition to the show, great addition potentially to our organization. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
For sure.
My pleasure.
You
Thanks a lot, man.
You got it.